Hey everyone, and welcome back. Today we're diving into something that's been blowing up my Twitter feed lately.
Oh, yeah.
CodeCraft. People are calling it a revolution in coding.
Yeah,
The hashtag CodeCraft revolution
I've seen that.
is trending everywhere. We've got research articles and even some firsthand accounts to
Wow.
dig into.
Yeah.
So let's unpack what CodeCraft is, how it works,
Okay.
and why everyone's so excited.
It's fascinating how CodeCraft is changing the game. Instead of, wrestling with syntax, imagine just explaining what you want your code to do.
Right.
Almost like talking to a friend.
Yeah.
CodeCraft takes those instructions and turns them into clean, functional code.
So it's like having a superpowered coding buddy
Uh-huh.
who translates your thoughts into the language computers understand.
Exactly. It's an AI-powered coding assistant that uses natural language processing. Think of it like this. You explain a recipe to someone, and they instantly write it down in perfect chef shorthand.
Okay.
CodeCraft does that, but for code.
That's a great way to visualize it. But it's doing more than just basic translation, right?
Right.
I'm seeing a lot about code completion and suggestions, even debugging help.
You're right. It goes way beyond just basic translation. CodeCraft anticipates what you're trying to do and offers helpful suggestions along the way. It can even help you spot errors and suggest ways to make your code more efficient.
So it's like having an experienced developer looking over your shoulder, offering tips and tricks.
Precisely. And what sets CodeCraft apart is its ability to understand the context of your project.
Okay.
It's not just responding to isolated commands. It's using deep learning to analyze your entire code base.
Right.
This allows it to generate much more accurate and relevant code suggestions
Interesting.
because it gets the bigger picture.
Now that's impressive. But how does deep learning actually work in this context? Is it some kind of AI magic?
It's not magic, but it can feel like it. Deep learning is a type of AI that learns patterns from massive amounts of data.
Okay.
In this case, CodeCraft has been trained on a huge data set of code. So it's learned how different pieces fit together and what makes for good code.
Yeah.
This allows it to not just translate your instructions,
Right.
but to actually write code that follows best practices and fits seamlessly into your project.
So it's like it's learned from the best coders out there and is using that knowledge to help us write better code.
Exactly. It's like having access to a collective library of coding wisdom distilled into an AI assistant. And it's not just limited to solo projects.
Oh.
CodeCraft is also designed for collaborative coding. Imagine a team of developers working on the same project, all receiving AI-powered assistance that's tailored to their individual tasks.
Wow.
CodeCraft can make this kind of seamless collaboration a reality, which is a game changer for team productivity.
That opens up so many possibilities. Okay, let's get practical.
Uh,
How does someone actually start using CodeCraft?
Sure.
Is it super complicated to set up?
Not at all. The interface is designed to be very user-friendly. You start by creating an account and initiating a new project, just like with many other coding tools. From there, you have the option to either type code directly, or you can use natural language to describe what you want to achieve.
So if I wanted to create a function to, let's say, sort of list of numbers,
Okay.
I could just type that out in plain English.
You got it. You could literally write, create a function to sort a list of numbers,
Wow.
and CodeCraft would generate the corresponding code for you.
Wow, that's pretty amazing.
Eh?
Does it show you the code as it's writing it?
Yes, it does. The interface usually features a split screen setup, so you can see your natural language instructions on one side
Right.
and the generated code on the other.
Okay.
This way, you can easily review and adjust the code as needed,
Yeah.
and you can even use natural language to instruct CodeCraft to make specific tweaks or add features.
Okay, so far CodeCraft sounds like a dream come true for any developer.
It does.
But let's talk about the potential downside.
Right.
There's always this worry with powerful AI tools.
Yeah.
Are we going to become too reliant on them? Could this hurt our own coding skills in the long run?
That's a question a lot of people are asking. And like with any powerful tool, it's about using it responsibly.
Right.
CodeCraft is fantastic for speeding up your workflow and learning new things, but it shouldn't be a substitute for understanding the fundamentals of coding.
Yeah.
It's like having a calculator. It's great for quick calculations, but
Yeah.
you still need to understand basic math.
So it's a matter of finding the right balance between using CodeCraft as a helpful assistant and ensuring we're still actively learning and growing our own skills.
Exactly. And there might be times when you encounter a very unique or complex coding problem
Right.
that requires a deeper understanding of specific algorithms or coding principles. In those cases, CodeCraft might be a great starting point, but you'll likely need to flex your own coding muscles to fine-tune the solution.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
It's all about understanding the strengths and limitations of the tool and using it strategically. But even with those limitations, it seems like CodeCraft could be a game changer for how we approach coding education. Imagine how much easier it would be for beginners to learn if they could start by expressing their ideas in plain English.
Absolutely. I think CodeCraft has the potential to make coding much more accessible to a wider range of people. Instead of getting bogged down by syntax errors and complex jargon,
Right.
beginners can focus on the logic and creativity behind coding.
Yeah.
And that's what truly makes coding fun and rewarding.
This is why I find these deep dives so fascinating. We're not just talking about a new piece of software. We're talking about something that could fundamentally change how we interact with technology and who gets to participate in creating it.
I agree, and that's what makes this conversation so exciting. CodeCraft is just one example of how AI is transforming the world of software development. And as these tools continue to evolve, who knows what incredible innovations we'll see in the years to come. It really does feel like we're on the cusp of something big, doesn't it?
Yeah.
CodeCraft is just one example, but it hints at this broader shift where AI is becoming a more active partner
Right.
in the creative process, not just a tool.
It's like that saying, give a person a fish, you feed them for a day.
Mm-hmm.
Teach a person to fish, you feed them for a lifetime.
Right.
But what if AI could help everyone become expert fishers? It changes the whole game.
I love that analogy. And it's not just about making coding easier.
Right.
It's about opening up the world of technology to
Yeah.
people who may not have had the opportunity or the confidence to dive in before.
Exactly. Imagine a world where someone with a brilliant idea for an app, but no formal coding experience,
Right.
can actually bring that idea to life with the help of AI.
Yeah.
It's almost like democratizing innovation.
It really is. We could see a whole wave of creativity and entrepreneurship coming from people who were previously excluded from the tech world. And think about the impact this could have on fields beyond software development. Imagine scientists using AI to generate complex simulations for climate modeling,
Wow.
or medical research, or artists collaborating with AI to create entirely new forms of digital art.
It's mind-blowing to think about all the possibilities. But let's bring it back to CodeCraft specifically.
Okay.
We've talked about the potential, but have we seen any concrete examples of how it's being used in the real world? I'm always curious about those stories that bridge the gap between theory and practice.
Absolutely. We've already mentioned the hashtag CodeCraft Revolution hashtag, which is full of people sharing their experiences in creative projects. One example that really stood out to me was a small startup that was developing an educational app for kids.
Okay.
They had a great concept, but they were struggling with the technical side of things. Then they started using CodeCraft, and they were able to build out a lot of the core functionality much faster than they ever thought possible.
That's fantastic. It's like it allowed them to focus on what they were passionate about,
Yeah.
the educational content,
Right.
without getting bogged down by the coding challenges.
Exactly. And we're also seeing larger companies starting to integrate CodeCraft into their workflows. For example, there's a software development team at a major tech company that was working on a new feature for their flagship product.
Okay.
They were facing a tight deadline and a lot of complex coding requirements. They decided to give CodeCraft a try, and they were amazed by how much it accelerated their development process. They were able to meet their deadline and deliver a high-quality product, all while reducing their workload and stress levels.
It's like it gave them superpowers.
Yeah.
And it's not just about speed and efficiency.
Right.
I'm also reading about how CodeCraft is helping developers learn new coding languages and techniques.
That's right. Because CodeCraft can generate code in multiple programming languages, developers can use it as a learning tool to explore new languages or to see how different languages approach the same problem. It's like having a personal coding tutor that's available 24/7.
It's really exciting to see how CodeCraft is empowering developers at all levels, from beginners to seasoned professionals. It's like it's raising the bar for what's possible in software development. But with all this talk about AI and coding, there's a question that keeps popping up in my mind. What does this mean for the future of human programmers? Is AI going to replace us?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it?
Yeah.
And I think it's important to remember that AI is not about replacing human intelligence, it's about augmenting it.
Right.
CodeCraft and other AI coding assistants are incredibly powerful tools, but but they're still tools. They need human guidance, creativity, and problem-solving skills to reach their full potential.
So it's not about human versus machine. It's about human plus machine.
Right.
It's about finding ways to collaborate and leverage each other's strengths.
Precisely. And I think the future of coding will involve a new kind of partnership between humans and AI. Human programmers will be the architects, the visionaries, the ones who set the direction and define the goals. And AI will be the master builders, the ones who execute those visions with speed, precision, and efficiency.
I love that image architects and master builders working side by side to create something truly remarkable.
And I think this collaboration will lead to a new era of innovation in software development. We'll see more creative and complex applications, faster development cycles, and a wider range of people contributing to the tech world.
This is where I get really optimistic about the future. It feels like we're on the brink of something truly transformative, and it's exciting to be a part of it. But before we get too carried away with all the possibilities, let's take a step back and consider the practicalities. We've talked a lot about the big picture.
Right.
But what are some of the specific features and functionalities that make CodeCraft so powerful?
That's a great question. And I think one of the key features that sets CodeCraft apart is its ability to handle complex coding tasks that would traditionally require a significant amount of time and expertise. For example, let's say you're building a website, and you need to create a form that collects user data and stores it in a database.
That sounds like a pretty involved task.
Yeah.
There's a lot that goes into making sure that data is collected securely and stored properly.
You're absolutely right. It can be a real headache for developers. But with CodeCraft, you can simply describe what you want the form to do using natural language.
So I could literally type something like, create a form that collects a user's name, email address, and password, then validates the input and stores the data securely in a database.
Exactly. CodeCraft would take care of generating the code for all of that, handling all the tricky parts like input validation, database integration, and security best practices. That means you can focus on the design of the form and how it fits into your website without getting bogged down in the nitty-gritty of the code.
That's a huge time saver. And it sounds like it could help prevent errors, too.
You're right. Having the AI handle those details can definitely reduce the chances of making mistakes. And this goes beyond just forms.
Yep.
CodeCraft can tackle a wide range of complex tasks. Let's say you needed to create an algorithm to recommend products to users based on their past purchases. That involves a lot of data analysis and pattern recognition.
Something I wouldn't even know where to begin with.
It's a challenging task, but CodeCraft can help.
Okay.
You could describe the type of recommendations you want to provide, the data you have available, and any specific criteria you want the algorithm to consider.
Right.
And CodeCraft could generate the core code for that recommendation engine.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
It's like having an entire team of expert programmers working behind the scenes to bring your ideas to life.
It really is a powerful tool, and it's only getting more advanced. We're seeing a lot of exciting developments in AI, especially in the realm of natural language understanding and code generation.
So what's next for CodeCraft? What are some of the trends you're seeing that could shape the future of AI coding assistants?
One of the most interesting trends is personalization.
Right.
We're starting to see AI coding assistants that can learn your coding style,
Oh, wow.
your preferred libraries, and even the specific context of your project.
Interesting.
This means you'll get even more tailored and relevant suggestions.
So it's like having a coding partner who knows you so well they can practically finish your sentences for you, but in code.
Exactly. It's all about making the interaction between human and AI as seamless and intuitive as possible. And this level of personalization can make a huge difference in productivity and efficiency.
What other exciting developments are on the horizon?
Another big area of focus is integration. We're going to see AI coding assistants become more tightly integrated with other tools and platforms that developers use every day. Imagine CodeCraft working seamlessly with your version control system,
Right.
your project management tools, even your design software.
It would create a much smoother and more streamlined development workflow.
Exactly. It would break down the silos between different stages of the development process, allowing everyone to collaborate more effectively. We're moving towards a future where AI is not just a separate tool, but an integral part of the entire development ecosystem.
This has been an incredibly insightful deep dive. We've gone from understanding the basics of CodeCraft to exploring the future of AI-powered development.
It's amazing to see how quickly this technology is evolving and the potential it holds for transforming the way we build software.
So for our listeners who are excited to jump into the world of AI coding, what's the best way for them to get started?
The best advice I can give is to dive in and experiment. CodeCraft has a free trial so you can play around with it and see what it can do. There are tons of resources online like tutorials and community forums where you can connect with other users and learn from their experiences.
That's great advice.
hmm
It's all about embracing this new era of coding and seeing how AI can help us unlock our creative potential.
Absolutely. This is an exciting time to be a developer, and I can't wait to see what amazing things people create with the help of AI.
And that wraps up our deep dive into CodeCraft.
Yeah.
We hope you've enjoyed the journey and that you're feeling inspired to explore the possibilities of AI-powered coding. What are your thoughts on the future of AI in coding? Head over to our social media channels and share your insights. We'd love to hear from you. Until next time, keep coding, keep innovating, and keep diving deep into the world of tech.